My friends, let us begin. We are in Garrison, Indiana, which is just outside of Chicago. It is a city that is run by the Sabbat, who have been trying unsuccessfully for several decades to take Chicago. In the year we are in 2024, there was a pandemic. This is important, especially for tonight's session. There was a pandemic in our world of darkness. Because it is the world of darkness, it was a little bit darker, if you will. Not that ours wasn't dark, it was a fucking piece of shit, but and it was even darker. There was martial law and so on and so forth. The Kindred also found it very difficult to deal with that. Because of martial law, Kindred found it difficult to go out and feed. And so the different sects, the Camarilla and the Sabbat, for example, found different ways to deal with this problem. The Camarilla found that the best way to deal with it was people who had herds and access to them would share them with other people, which led to some problems with people who had access to these things charging other kindred exorbitant blood prices for them. The Sabbat found another, perhaps more disturbing yet elegant answer. They took over in Garrison a prison, South Haven prison, and filled it up with homeless people who lived alone, the destitute, etc., and used it as a blood farm. It is now known as South of Heaven Blood Farm. This is how they dealt with that particular situation. This will be important later on tonight. Our characters are a pack of Sabbat who have, unfortunately, some years ago, during a raid in Chicago, had the unfortunate, sorry, I'm looking for the unfortunate, fuck, I need an English teacher. The unfortunate
position?
Right. No. We're unfortunate enough to encounter the Nosferatu Scourge Baptiste, and a lot of them were killed. The pack was broken. One of them, Carter, works for the Cardinal still, but the others have sort of laid down roots in Garrison. Archie, Francis, and Lydia have started working together in this club, both a regular club and a sex club, and have sort of laid down roots and have, been not really Sabbati in the past few years. Carter's arrived in town with a mission from God, a mission from the Cardinal, and he is here to round up the other three and make sure that they are fit and ready to take on this mission. However, upon arriving, two were missing, Francis and Archie. Lydia and Carter renewed their friendship, for lack of a better word, and eventually found themselves led to a isolated rural house where they not only found Archie and Francis with pieces of wood through their hearts staked, but also waiting for them, Cardinal Santiago himself. So before we begin tonight, a few words from our sponsor, Mr. Robert Frost. Blood has been harder to dam back than water. Just when we think we have it impounded safe behind new barrier walls and let it chafe, it breaks away in some new kind of slaughter. We choose to say it is let loose by the devil. But power of blood itself releases blood. It goes by might of being such a flood held high at so unnatural a level. It will have outlet, brave and not so brave. Weapons of war and implements of peace are but the points at which it finds release. And now it is once more the tidal wave, that when it has swept by leaves summit stained. Oh, blood will out. It cannot be contained. 4 lights, 4 tiny, pitiful, flickering lights to hold back darkness. Any light, even one so unassuming as that of a candle, can be unassailable and hold back the hordes of darkness. But to shine, light must consume. Primarily it feeds on hope, which in turns is anchored by what we laughingly call humanity. Laughingly, for with every passing day humanity proves just what a horrible plague it is. No wonder we of the Sabbat find little light to illumine our way, mired as we are in the filth, corruption, and decay of death. But this also means we cannot be consumed. A conundrum, then. To embody the very worst aspects of the world and survive, or to shine ever so brightly and be consumed in the process. I know which I choose. Bring on the night, the filth, the corruption, and decay. At least I'm being honest about who I am. And you? Are you honest about who or what you are? Lydia, Carter, you are in a room in this little rural home. With you are Birdsong, the Gangrel, and Vorena, the Zimshi, who are part of Carter's pack. Also along with you are Aster, the pack priest of Cardinal Santiago, and Cardinal Santiago himself. As the Cardinal reveals himself, stepping out of shadows, Birdsong comes up to you, Carter, and keeping an eye on the Cardinal goes, "Hey man, these were in the truck, you need these?" Hands you a pair of sunglasses.
Goddamn right I need them. Future's so bright I gotta wear shades.
As you take in the Cardinal, who is busy arranging his robes and sitting down in a chair, two other ghouls bring in your friends, Archie and Francis, laying them down on the floor. Both of them have pieces of wood right into their hearts, which, as you know, puts them into a sort of paralysis. The Cardinal sits down, shadows still writhing around him, enveloping him, creating these weird pools of shifting light and darkness around his face. Well, we've found your friends. You may release them if you wish.
I go for Archie.
You pull the piece of wood. As Lydia pulls that piece of wood, Archie, you were conscious of everything that was going on around you, but everything has that kind of condensed dreamlike quality of a lucid dream, if you will. As the stake is pulled out of you, you slowly feel your muscles relax. It's as if putting that pin inside of your heart contracts all your muscles and you can't move. You are frozen in whatever position, but as it releases, you find your body slowly regaining some flexibility and some movement. Your mind is still a little foggy. It does something weird to be staked in. You're not quite sure exactly what's going on, but you do see Lydia leaning over you, pulling that piece of wood out of your chest.
I place a gentle hand on your face.
Yeah, he kind of like comes to like somewhat of a shock, like it's eyes darting around. He's like,
Hey.
Oh, hey, Lydia.
Hey.
Where are we?
Farmhouse. I'll explain more later, but you're okay now.
Was I fucking staked?
Yeah, and the Cardinal's like right there, so we can touch base on this a little later. Only because I'm a little scared it might happen to all of us if we act up.
He looks down at his shirt and he goes, fuck. This is Versace.
I was gonna say, girl.
Okay, I help me up so he can stand.
I just help him sit up and like get an arm over my shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine. Kind of fixes there. I'm fine. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean, you look great.
Okay. Naturally, of course. Okay. Woo.
I think Carter reaches over and pulls the one out of Francis. Rising. Rise and die, fuckstick. Let's go.
Opening eyes, seeing you. I'm not sure which is worse. And like trying to push you aside as I start to like stand up myself.
Oh, it's gonna get much worse. Dad's here.
Dad?
Yeah, Dad.
Take a look around the room because that was not enough context clues apparently.
As you look around the room, you do see that with you are two other people you don't recognize. A man who looks sort of standard issue Carter sidekick, a bit like a biker, shaved head, long gray and black beard, leathers and jeans. A very strange looking woman who is, her body is like almost that of a child's, but her head is the normal size of a human, of an adult. She has bleached blonde hair, strange makeup on her face, and her proportions are wrong, as if her rib cage is a little bit wider than it should be, and her waist is impossibly thin, and her bassin is also kind of very wide, and she just looks very alien and just not right. Along with these two are two people you would recognize. One is a man wearing a almost kind of like a priest's cassock, but without the little white, whatever that's called, thing around the neck, collar, whom you know as Aster, who is a Tremere anti-tribu and basically the priest that runs with Cardinal Santiago. And finally, sitting in a chair, the man himself, Cardinal Santiago, who usually wears these very simple red robes, unadorned in any way, shape, or form. He's got long hair and beard, brown, sort of scraggly and kind of unkempt, very piercing eyes. And he sits there under these pool of shadows that constantly move around his face.
Dad? Okay. And immediately drop gaze and just try to get my person and my sense of self without drawing too much attention to it.
Aster, the priest, says, "We have some concerns about how things have been proceeding here in Garrison. We were wondering if you might explain to us why you have become so complacent."
You know, that's a damn good question. I too would like the answer to this.
Is he always so gruff? Like he just takes that tone all the time? Like that's...
Yeah, he's like, I gotta tell you, he's terrible. Like, all of it.
I'm beginning to see that. I have a splitting headache. Okay, fuck. Okay,
Sorry.
What did they want? They want to know what? What do you want to know?
They want to know why you're acting like a bunch of cattle.
Excuse me. I'm addressing the Cardinal. Thank you.
My dear Archie.
Yes,
Is it?
sorry. Yes, that's me.
We'll get to the matter of the complacency that has settled in on our people here in Garrison in a moment. I think perhaps it would behoove us to begin tonight with a little reaffirming of our bonds to one another. Perhaps a little Voldery is in order. I'm sure no one here has any reasons why they would not like to participate.
Archie looks at Lydia. Do we have any quorums?
I mean, I don't want to have to, smell Carter often. But I don't always want to see him, staked. Always.
Gotcha. Okay. Nope. Let's party.
I mean, I think truly, Archie, we don't have any other choices. So
No, obviously not. I'm still upset about my shirt. Okay.
I am very upset about that shirt because that shirt looks so good on you.
Vorena, the strange-looking woman, leans in and says, "If you want, I can just alter your skin to permanently look like your shirt. You could even remove it."
Verena, just for right now, Archie just woke up from like a real bad nap. Can you leave him alone?
I thought I was being helpful. He seems very distraught over the loss of his shirt.
Oh, you are. Why don't you give him a hand?
It was kind of helpful. I mean, I take my shirt off for less. I think I'll be okay.
Oh, okay. She leans back. The Colonel says, "It is the blood that binds us. The blood makes us who we are. Blood without, it carries within it strength and wisdom of generations, I believe. I believe we all could use a little reminder of who we are, why we exist, and why we are here." Aster, if you would. The priest goes over to a little black case that he's got. He opens it up. He pulls out of it a chalice that appears to be made out of a single piece of bone, intricately detailed and carved to resemble a pair of hands holding up a skull. He brings it out and he says a few words over it and then pulls out a little silver razor that's attached to a rosary around his neck. He comes over and comes to the cardinal, who extends a hand. He cuts inside the palm of the cardinal. The cardinal drops a little bit of blood in the cup. And Aster comes over and comes to you, Lydia. Where would you like to be cut?
I just sigh deeply and I offer the back of my left wrist.
He slices. It's quite painless. Some blood dribbles into the chalice. Thank you.
I just lick it.
He cuts Birdsong and Vorena. When he goes to cut Vorena, her skin just opens up and blood starts to pour out of it. She smiles at him. And then it closes right back up. For a moment, it almost looked like... No, you don't dare think about it. Did it look like a vagina? No, you don't want to think about it. You just put it out of your mind. He approaches Carter. Where would you like to be cut?
Carter pulls his shirt aside and then pulls his A-frame over, and he says, "Right at the heart."
Cuts you, collects blood, comes over to Archie.
It's like Archie's still looking over at Carter like, what is wrong with you? Okay. Hi. Here. And then just offers a wrist too.
Little cut, little blood, and finally comes over to Francis. Where would you like to be cut?
I'll go ahead and extend hand, just pointing at the meaty part.
Little cut, collects the blood, does it with himself also. He chants a little bit in Latin over it. There's a few more things. You know the ritual. You all gather around in a circle. The cardinal stands with you. All are equal here in the Sabbat, of course. You all stand around in a circle around the priest, who intones his chant over the chalice full of blood. And then eventually holding it aloft, he goes, "This is the vinculum. It will bind us together. It will unite us. It will make us stronger." And then he takes a sip out of it. And as he does, he says, "Sanguis est vinculum." And then he turns over to you, Lydia, and he says, "Darkness beckons."
I take it and I look. I sip first.
However you like.
I swill it around a little bit like it's a very fine cab, and I take a small sip. sanguis est vinculum.
When you taste it, there's some potent blood in there. You note that most of it is around the same potency as yours. There's one that's a little stronger, one that's even stronger, and then there's one that blows your mind. Imagine what you might feel like if you were to try heroin. When the Cardinal's blood slides along your tongue, enters your throat, and goes into your body, you feel thousands of years of ancient power in that little amount of blood that he gave you. You feel it course through you, and as it does, as you feel energized by it, as you taste both how incredibly enticing it is, but also how terribly scary it is, you realize that blood is forever ruined for you. You will continuously, from this day forward, be chasing this taste, this high of a very, very real elder's blood. No blood will ever satisfy you as much as this does. Every also from now on will be as if diluted, as if weak, as if anemic, as if drawn from the basest of animals. There is a song of euphoria that plays in your heart, at the same time a dirge that tells you you will never taste this again unless you do some of the most unthinkable acts for a vampire.
I turn to Carter and I go, shit's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink, Carter?
Oh, he takes the cup, takes a long draft, gargles it. It's a little bit like spills out of his mouth, and he drinks it. Victim S, whatever the fuck. Bond is sealed. Then he hands it off.
You have tasted the Cardinal's blood before, so it is less of a extreme high for you, but it is kind of like someone who's been deprived of something they really, really love for a long time, and now you're getting the taste of it, and it never fails to amaze.
Shit's good.
Who do you pass it to?
I think he actually passes it off to Francis.
I'm gonna take it, and it's like someone getting their first shot, like at a bar. A little like hesitant, not quite sure how to tackle this, and then just throwing it back and dropping it real quick. Oh, that was really good. And passing it to Archie.
Got a little bit there, sweetie.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Archie takes the cup and he passes down and he pulls out a piece of cloth and he's like, okay, well, okay, cheers. He takes a sip. Sanguis est vinculum. Whew, wait a minute. Oh, wow, that shit's good.
You hand it over. Birdsong takes a sip, hands it over to Varena. Varena takes it, sniffs it, looks at you all, tilts her head back, too far back, the throat opens. You see these lips just bloom right here in her throat, and she pours the rest of the blood down, directly in it. Sinks down into it. and the wound reseal. She hands the cup back to Aster.
I'm sorry.
As the blood of the vinculum courses through all of you, you feel a sudden change in your disposition towards the members of your pack. Suddenly you feel a stronger connection, a stronger bond spread out between, not enough that you still don't hate some of your packmates and perhaps it would like to do terrible things to them, but certainly strong enough that you would not voluntarily put them in danger or endanger them yourself, and you would feel bound by this bond to help them if they were in some kind of difficulty. For you, if there's someone in this pack that you really dislike, and may make it kind of difficult to deal with that, but it is overpowering. It is something that is outside your control. You know that over some time it will fade, but for now, the pack is united. And then something else happens as you stand there, taking in the power of the Cardinal's blood, taking in this bond that is being formed. You find yourselves swaying a little bit in place. The shadows around the room seem to crowd in on you, as if the room around you is slowly disappearing, being eaten away by these shadows. You feel tendrils of this darkness reach out towards you. Archie, you shake your head. You're not quite sure what just happened or where you are. When you look up, you're in the bar. You are standing in the wings, looking back towards the dressing room where the performers get ready for the night. You see sitting there at a table Raymond. It's been quite a while since you've seen him do this, but he is preparing himself. His dress has been picked out and is, hanging next to him, this beautiful blue number that really, really sets off his eyes. He is busy applying makeup to his face as he looks into the mirror. He hasn't seen you yet. He looks very beautiful, very, very powerful, very attractive. You feel, well, tell us, what do you feel when you look at Raymond, Archie?
Archie sits there and he watches Raymond, takes care, because Raymond is a true legend within this scene. And so each swipe of cover and he's laying down all of his base layer, and just with the meticulous line spreads, it's like watching a painter just masterfully paint. They're just it's like a workshop on how to do it. And Archie is so happy to see that Raymond is getting back into it, at least just for this once, and taking the time and the care. And he's brought back to all the moments to where the both of them were squeezing into a small bathroom and having to do all of this within 5 minutes because we're late, and just fixing wig real quick. And he just brought back to those memories. And then he looks over at the dress and he sees that beautiful blue signature color for Raymond in all of his performances, and it's just pure joy because he's seeing his friend in their natural element just thriving. It's kind of like leaning against like a wall or maybe like a door frame, and has his arms crossed, and he's doing this and he's just taking it all in.
Suddenly from behind you, you hear a voice, one that you perhaps weren't expecting, and one that shakes you a little bit to your core.
You know that'll get you killed, right?
Is this going to be a trend with you? You're just going to ruined moments.
It ain't nothing but a little chink in the armor. We're gonna get you nice and strong. Don't you worry about that. Little things like this won't matter. Mi hermano, it's gonna be quite all right. Don't you worry about it. You need to do what needs doing.
Archie spins on his heels and looks at Carter and goes, "It's these things that keep me strong. Trust me.
These are the things that keep you weak, but don't worry. I'm here for you. Daddy gonna take care of you. Don't you worry about that."
That's ew. That is beyond disgusting. Don't ever refer to yourself like that to me. Trust me, I have enough chinks in my armor.
Well,
It's
that's
these
the problem,
things that help
though.
buff them out.
No, this is what makes you weak, friend. You've got to understand that your ties to these individuals are only going to get you meeting the sun sooner than you anticipated. Trust me, I'm looking out for you, whether you realize it or not. Your best bet is to just go in there, do what needs doing, and move on. You'll feel better in the long run, trust me. Bet you they taste mighty fine, too.
I need you to leave.
Yeah,
However fast you came in, you need to leave.
that ain't happening anytime soon. I'm kind of like your fucked up guardian angel. I'm here to make sure that you do what you need to do and you embrace what you are to be. You know what you are, right? Right, Archie? You're a fucking monster. You eat people like that. They ain't nothing more than a steak, a T-bone, a ribeye. I mean, you can play with your food all you want, but at the end of the night, you're still gonna eat it. Whether you like it or not, giving it a name don't make it no better.
That's fine. Okay? You said your piece, you've had your moment, you had your TED Talk. Do you feel better?
Not really. I mean, I'm more or less just trying to get you to come around to the way things are.
Please, just
Why do you
please
cling to?
go?
Why?
Just please go.
I'm in your mind. You brought me here.
Fine. And then, tries really hard to get rid of him.
Nice try, Cupcake. It don't work that easy.
Fuck you.
We're bonded.
Go away.
No. You want to hit me? Will that make you feel better? Will that make you feel strong?
Archie, is everything all right? You hear Raymond say. He's looking at you from the ruined door of the dressing room. Is everything all right?
Turns around, he's like, you chose the ballroom number. It's beautiful. That blue always sparkles so well. I'm fine. You, just give me a moment. I'll be there to help you with your wig, because you know you have trouble with that.
Is this man bothering you? And he starts coming towards you.
No, he's not bothering me. He's just annoying. Me and my friend, I'll see them out. You, please, showtime. Focus on that. You're fine.
Well, Mr. Annoying Man, I think perhaps it's time for you to leave.
Oh, but you see, that's not gonna happen, sweetheart. Because you see, one of two things is gonna happen. I'm gonna eat you, or Archie is.
People, funny. I think he's high, and then turns around and kind of pushes.
As you push on him, I don't move. I do not physically move. It's like trying to push a boulder uphill.
Could you, God damn it, could you just please go? And he closes his eyes really tight. Just please go. Just fucking go.
Not until you admit what you are.
I think it's time for you to go, mister. And Raymond reaches out and grabs you by the collar, Carter.
I grab Raymond's arm and immediately rip it off.
Blood gushes, flies everywhere. Some of it just right in your face, Archie. You can taste Raymond's blood on your lips. You see the look on his face.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And then I lunge after Carter.
As you lunge at him, your fangs bared, the beast inside of you raging, calling for Carter's blood. Carter, you're at the graveyard. It's dark. Little mist moving in. You look around. Your pack lies ravaged, destroyed, heads smashed in. You know he's out there. There are shadows just beyond the graveyard where you are, and you know he's prowling out there. That fucking giant mythical Nosferatu with his fucking railroad hammer, just prowling out there on the edges in the dark. And then you see it, one grave, one unopened grave, mound of dirt. The dirt starts to move a little bit. You see fingers poke through. You see a hand. Then the arm, and you recognize the sleeve of the dress that she was wearing when you pulled her out of that limo. Just before you embraced her. That little blonde southern number. The arm starts crawling out of the grave. You hear a voice just off to your right. I'm coming! You see someone you haven't seen in a while. You see Lee, your other child, running towards the grave with a shovel. You know, if he digs her out, the ritual won't take.
She's mine, you son of a bitch, and you absolute fucking walking disgrace. Get away! And like Carter gets down on what would amount to all fours, and if you were to see him in an animal form, it would be like the hair on the back of a dog standing up, like his teeth are bared, right? He is standing over the grave. She's mine.
As he comes in, Lee notices you, sees you, hauls back with the shovel, takes a mighty swing right at you. The shovel hits you on the side of the head. It doesn't do that much damage. It just kind of, there's that ping sound a little bit, and you see that he's about to try to start digging. Two of her hands are out. She's trying to dig herself out of this grave. If he digs her out, the ritual will not take. She will not be Sabbat.
I leap at Lee and just plunge my taloned hand into his heart and grab it and rip it out, just saying, she's mine. She won't be the weak like you. She's fucking mine.
You rip his heart out, his chest breaks apart, the skin falls out, the blood just gushes as you rip out of him. He falls back. No real look on his face, no reaction. This is very strange to you. It's as if, he's not even there, really. You grab the heart, it's in your hand, and as you look at it, it turns to sand, and the sand is running through your fingers. You turn around in time to see this mass in front of you, a red ski coat, a mask, this giant head of a hammer, bashing right down into your face. You fall to the ground. As you do, you see out of the grave is her, Teddy, the one you embraced that night. She crawls herself out of the grave. The Nosferatu is just standing there, this silent, ominous presence, his giant hammer with your blood and your brain matter dripping from the head. She comes over. Her dress is dirty, ripped. Her long blonde hair is a huge mess. Some of it's missing. She stands over you. She says, "Daddy?"
I'm gonna find you.
She smiles, says, "Okay," and then spits on you. Lydia.
Like,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just there's a nod of approval.
Lydia, you're in the graveyard. Everything's gone wrong. All your packmates are dead. Everyone has fallen down. All you hear is the screams of the people that came here with you. You're running. You have just sort of given up. You're running, trying to get as far away from this nightmare that is crushing people's head with this hammer. You look over your shoulder as you run. You see a little bit further behind you. You see Jermaine fighting with Carter. You don't understand what happened, how it started. The two of them seem to kind of be jostling, wrestling, trying to get one over the other. At some point, it's really not clear how or what had happened, but at some point, Carter kind of dips low. You see his hand turned into a claw, and he reaches out and he swipes at Jermaine's leg, and the knee, it pops off at the knee, and blood just sprays everywhere, and Jermaine falls down. Carter gets back up, looks at you, laughing, runs off. As you look again, you see that giant Nosferatu with that hammer just crush Jermaine's skull. It explodes right in front of you, almost like in slow motion. You see pieces of it flying through the air, and all throughout you see Carter's grin as he runs by you. His features already looking more and more like those of a wolf as he's running. You're at the club, Lydia. Gretchen is on the stage. She's in a ready position. The spotlights are all coming down on her. She looks incredibly beautiful with that red hair and that pale white skin that you love so much, her green and gold collar around her neck, glinting in the light. And you feel a presence behind you. You feel a hand on the back of your neck. Hello, Lydia.
I straighten up.
You recognize the voice of Amric, your sire.
I drop my arms to my side and then fold them behind my back. Sir?
You know, it's time to decide soon. And if you don't take her, she will turn to someone else.
I suppose you're right, sir.
It is for you to decide what becomes of her. But if you don't give her what she wants, if you don't do to her as I did to you, bring her in, show her what true belonging is, she will find one more worthy to serve.
Yes, sir. And I walk up to the stage.
As you approach the stage, you're about halfway there. Gretchen looks up at you, smiles. Suddenly, the floor beneath her erupts. You see hands breaking through the stage, ripping through it. She's still kneeling there, looking at you, smiling. You see crawling out of the stage, you see Jermaine's form, his head crushed in, folded around like the hammer's head was still in there. He's coming out of the stage and he's grabbing for her and he's pulling for her, and she looks at him in a very loving fashion, and he grabs at her and he starts pulling her down into the hole with him. What do you do?
I run up and I attempt to free her.
You jump up on the stage. She's almost halfway through now. Jermaine's body, almost headless, is just pulling her down. You can see beneath the stage there's this fire that's burning, almost as if you're looking into hell, and he's pulling her and his fingers are like digging into her flesh, and you see blood welling out as they pierce her flesh and just grab the bone underneath as he's pulling her down. And she looks at you but then looks at him and just is not offering any sort of resistance to this. You grab her, you try to pull her out of there. Your arms feel weak. You call on the power of shadows around you that lash out in tentacles and grab her and start to pull her as she's getting dragged deeper and deeper down into this hole. You're on the stage, Lydia. The stage is not damaged at all. You're in the same position that Gretchen was a moment earlier. Your sire comes to you. You feel his hands on your hands behind your back. You feel him put something in your hands. The time to choose is near. You're alone. You feel small objects in your hand.
I open my hands to see what's there.
There in your hand, like 4 perfect drops of blood, are 4 pomegranate seeds. Francis. You're in a courtyard at the university. It's snowing. The massive tree in the middle of the courtyard has no leaves left in it, just covered in ice and snow. Things are quiet. There's a bell ringing somewhere in the distance. You're hanging in one of the alcoves. You see, coming out from another alcove at the other end of the courtyard, you see Elliot walking into the courtyard. They haven't seen you yet. They've got books in their hands, a cup of coffee in the other. They seem to be kind of rushing, heading towards class or something.
Okay, but they're in a rush, so they probably don't have time, but I haven't seen them in a while, so I probably should go see them. And like kind of gathering my things, putting my book away into like the little side bag that I imagine I have at this point, and starting to like walk fast over and then slow down.
As you start walking, you fall, you trip. The books scatter all over in front of you. You are on the floor in the farmhouse. You're at the foot of the Cardinal. Francis, please stand. And he reaches down and offers you his hand.
Take it and stand.
When you stand, you look around you and you see that all your companions, Carter, Archie, Lydia, Birdsong, Vorena, are all suspended a few feet off the ground, being held aloft by tendrils of shadows. They have tendrils of shadows in their mouths, in their nose, in their ears. They're standing like this, hovering up in the air, and all these pulsating tendrils of shadows are invading them, pulsing around them, going inside of them. I'm sorry we had to go through this, but I thought it would be better for us to speak if they were otherwise occupied.
I understand.
I will task them, Carter especially, with going to Chicago to find someone that I need found. That is one part of the mission. I understand you have contacts in the academic world in Chicago.
I've been busy.
I need you to use them. I need you to find someone, a Professor Holling. You may only go by the professor. He is hiding somewhere I cannot see him and cannot reach him. Will you do that for me, Francis?
Of course. Whatever you wish.
I wanted to also give you a small piece of advice. When you try to serve 2 masters, you end up serving none.
I'll be sure to take that into consideration.
Now, would you like to see your friend again for a moment?
I want to look over to my friends, seeing them all experiencing a thing, and looking back to the Cardinal. Of course. Thank you for this gift.
You're very welcome, Francis. And he steps back, and the shadows envelop you, and the tendrils wrap around you, and you feel them pushing their way into your mouth and into your nose. You are in the courtyard. You are about to start walking. You see Elliot coming. Elliot is walking in the courtyard, looks up, sees you, smiles, and then stops and looks over in another doorway. You see another figure, another shadowy figure hiding in the doorway. It's very difficult to make out who it is. But Elliot hesitates, takes a step towards them, then stops, then looks at you, and takes a step towards you, and seems very unsure what to do. You get the feeling that if they go, they will be lost to you.
Elliot, please come. I read something really interesting. Just come this way, please.
Elliot starts walking towards you, always looking at the other figure, puts up a finger like this, comes over. Hi, Francis. How are you doing? You weren't in class this morning.
No, I was feeling just a little under the weather.
Oh no, are you okay? Are you? They seem very distracted, kind of looking over at you. Are you feeling better? Are you okay? I've barely had any of this chai. Would you like it?
Oh, I wouldn't dream. Thank you, though. I mean,
no, please. It'll make you feel good. Like I've barely touched it with my lips. You should be fine.
Maybe just for the warmth. And
absolutely. Here.
What?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Oh, what's over there? What do you see?
Oh, it's a friend of mine.
Friend?
Yeah. Do you want to meet her?
Tell me more about your friend.
Oh, she's very nice. She's very sweet. She's very kind. She's very smart. She's in one of my art classes, and she's very talented. She does this really interesting finger painting technique that she's got. I'd have to show you the work, but she's really studying sort of the intersection of gender and sort of how the colors can sort of help us better understand. And she goes into this strange explanation of this. Words don't make sense anymore to you. As they're speaking, you're just hearing gibberish. You're just hearing Latin. It's starting to turn into something strange, like some sort of strange prayer to something dark, something ominous. There's just this weird sound. There's like a choral now speaking, all these people talking, all these people saying this prayer around you. Like it's starting to just kind of just resonate around you. You're starting to feel a little faint. She reaches out to you and grabs you, and she puts a hand on your shoulder, and all of that stops, and it's just her. Are you okay?
Sorry, I was a million miles away. She sounds really inspiring to you.
Do you want to meet her?
No. You know, I don't like new people that much.
It's okay. Look, I'm just going to go and talk to her a little bit.
Don't.
Oh, Francis, you don't have to worry about anything. And they lean down and kiss you very, very gently on the lips. I'll be back. Don't worry, Francis. And they turn and they walk off. And as they do, they are swallowed by this sudden gust of wind that lifts all this snow up and around. They disappear in this sudden sudden swell of snow. All of you are on the floor. of the house, you see shadows dissipating around you. You feel something coming up in your stomach. All of you start to vomit this black, oily liquid. You just a whole bunch are just on the floor everywhere. It's coming out of your ears. It's coming out of your pores almost.
That sucked.
That was fun.
God. This too is Versace. Thank you very much.
You know, y'all might want to start shopping at Walmart. It's way cheaper and disposable clothing.
Archie looks in the direction of Carter, and like, I know we're on the ground, but he like begins to shuffle over to them, and he goes, "If you ever in your backwoods brain put a finger on my raiment, I swear I will show you every inch of beast I can be. Do you understand me?"
Listen, Cream Puff, you understand that this particular ritual that we took part is the only thing keeping me from turning you into a goddamn snack pack. So mind your fucking business.
How about you come with it, big boy? Huh? We can actually see who can snack on what pack right now. I'm ready for it.
There you are. There you are. Now you're fucking ready. Get up. Dust
Your
yourself
fangs
off.
out.
I mean, you can certainly try.
Shut up, Carter. Fuck.
There you are.
At this
There it
point,
is.
Lydia, with a clawed hand, grabs Carter's beard and slams him as hard as she can onto the floor. Shut the fuck up.
Carter, like, at that point, lets out a primal growl. Like, you have only ever heard this growl one other time, and that's when he was turning Camarilla into fucking sushi before your very eyes. You get one, and that was your fucking one, Lydia.
I just give him a little kiss on the cheek and go, "Sure, Daddy."
Yeah, see, now you're coming around.
Are we quite finished here? I'd like to leave.
Well,
I
you
don't know
see,
about you, but we're closer than we've ever been.
here's the thing, Archie. I know you've been, I don't know, kicking up your heels, but you don't ask to leave. The Cardinal dismisses you. That's how it works. Show a little, I don't know, fucking respect to the guy who's only a couple generations removed from the fucking first.
You are tap dancing on my last nerve, and you look like a person with no rhythm, so you might want to step back.
Let's go.
If you're all
I'm
quite done.
Anytime, pony boy, I swear to God.
Cardinal, you gave me a good bunch. I appreciate it. They got fire.
If you're all quite done.
Yes, sir. I'm done.
Sorry.
I have a task for you, but before I tell you what it is, I would like to say thank you to Vamp Wickman for the 500 bits and to Riven Sarah for the 300 bits. That is, we'll call it 8 night moves. So you each have 2 night
on the
moves.
night move.
You each have 2 9 moves that you can stack up on your sheet there. Thank you very much for donations. Reminder that this is a game intended for mature audience. You know.
Lobons gave me a shot, gave me a hail earlier, so ha ha ha.
Oh, so then you have another one.
Ha ha.
As you refocus on the Cardinal, a few years ago in 2011, I sent a Black Hand pack into Chicago to assassinate 5 Camarilla members. They were stopped after they killed 5, but one of the ones they killed was the wrong target. For those of you who don't know, this is GM here talking. The Black Hand are the elite assassins of the Sabbat. They are highly dedicated, highly trained, special forces type of occult warriors. The Black Hand was destroyed by the Scourge, Baptiste, and a Tremere brought in specifically from San Francisco, a Sabbat hunter named Hayden Croft. They tracked down the Black Hand pack and killed them one by one. I recently learned, however, that one member of the pack survived. An Assamite by the name of Ophelia. I need you to go into Chicago and find Ophelia for me. Or bring me proof of her demise. But before you do, you will need help. There is one here in Garrison, a Ravnos named Silver, who is the one who actually found Ophelia. I need you to go to the South of Heaven blood farm. You'll talk to the warden there. A venture named Clemence. You will ask for Silver. You will convince Silver to come with you to help you find Ophelia. If anyone knows where she might be, it will be him. Now, I am aware that things have been a little lackadaisical in Garrison in the past few years. I am willing to overlook this. I understand that things were a little strange, but now is the time to start acting like Sabbat again. If any of you are hesitant in any way, shape, or form to perform your duty to the utmost, say so now. We will leave you outside in the sun tomorrow morning, and you can be put out of your miseries. But if you're ready to go back to work, he gets up. He comes up in front of Lydia and Carter. The only question I have left now is which one of you two will I entrust with leading this group?
Well, I ain't exactly been on sabbatical.
I was not asking.
Aww.
Carter, you have experience, and you are the only one here whose devotion to the Sabbat I do not question. Those are points in your favor, but you are a brute. You are a rampaging animal, and while that has its uses, perhaps a mission into occupied territory might need a slightly lighter touch. Lydia, and of course of a clan made to rule, La Sombra like me. But I question your devotion. You've not been very, how shall we say, active outside of your own personal interests for the last few years. So tell me, Lydia, Why should it be you?
And I lean in slightly with an aura of shadow and go, family comes first.
He turns, goes over to Carter. Why should it be you?
Because I won't fail.
He turns around. Archie.
Yes.
You have the most to prove. Would you like an opportunity? You are La Sombra. After all, your blood calls for power. Your blood calls to leadership. Would you like an opportunity to prove yourself, or would you rather just get this over with and go back to what it is, whatever it is you're doing?
With all due respect, Cardinal, I think you know the answer to that, but I will say this. I think in order to lead, you must be willing to follow, so...
Are you saying you're not willing to follow?
No, I'm saying in order to prove myself to you that I am most willing to follow.
He looks over at Francis. Then back to Lydia and Carter. Go to the prison. Get Silver. I'll be watching. I'll decide by tomorrow night who will lead the pack into Chicago. Impress me.
Yes, sir.
Your Grace.
He steps back. Shadows swirl around him and envelop him. The last thing you see are his eyes staring right at you, right deep inside of you. Then he's gone. The priest Aster is there. Well, you have your orders. You should be able to go to South of Heaven Blood Farm and secure Silver before dawn comes. I will be in touch tomorrow at dusk with the Cardinal's further orders. Your strength is in your blood, your bond as a pack. I understand that. You may not be feeling very bonded right now, but that has ever been the strength of the Sabbat, why we thrive in the night while those mongrels of the Camarilla decay and rot away. Honor your blood. Honor the sect, honor the Cardinal. Do your jobs. There are many others watching. Some who may have interesting opportunities for you should you succeed. You may use this house. Turns around, takes this chalice, puts it in his thing, wraps it in this cloth, puts it in his bag, closes the bag. Once you're done with the house, the ghouls will take care of it. Good luck. Remember, the warden's name is Clémence, Venturante Tribute. Turns around, walks out.
Clémence. I like it. Sounds Creole.
I just run a finger on one of the end tables nearby and pick up some of the dust that was on one of the doilies. And I'm like, home sweet home.
You slept in worse and you know it.
For once, Lydia just sighs and lets Carter have that one.
Oh, you guys are from here, says Birdsong. What the fuck's up with this blood farm?
Oh, it's a place over on the south end, if you can figure, where you can get a drink without necessarily having to rouse suspicion. Fresh on tap, though, if you catch my drift.
You guys are getting away with that?
Listen.
There's not much happening in Garrison, so.
I hear they got good barbecue.
Goddamn right they do.
As you're doing this, you hear a voice behind you, Francis. Are you okay?
Turn to look.
Verena standing like fucking half an inch away from you.
I'm fine. Are you okay?
No.
Okay. And like turn my back to her.
You have a beautiful spine.
Thanks. I grew it myself.
Verena, leave Francis alone.
I just want to look at her spine.
No.
It won't take long. I'll just unzip her.
No.
I don't
No.
need to be unzipped. Thank you, though.
Okay, on that note, I will be shuffling along now.
If you change your mind.
Yeah, I will consider that. Never. Thank you.
So, boss, I don't know which one of you is boss, but fucking one of you is going to be boss, so fucking...
This guy. Anyway.
No, let's be real.
Nah, let's honestly be real. Who's got the better track record? Anyway, so when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, tomorrow, I assume that you two need to rest up a little bit, you know, since you've got a 12-gauge hole in your chest. That used to be a chunk of wooden material. Are you hungry? Do you need a juice box?
I'm starving.
Well, then that's first thing.
Start like playing a little bit with the hole. Just a little bit.
Let's actually figure out what your blood is. Carter and Lydia, you wouldn't know what your blood is.
Mm-hmm.
Since you had it last time, but Francis and Archie, if you would give me a D10 roll.
Sure.
A crit success.
Ooh.
I just need to know the number.
Oh. It's a 10.
Nice. So you're at 9. You're full up. 4, so you're at 3. You are actually kind of peckish, Alex.
Okay, thanks.
But you could, you know, could wait another night.
Fair enough.
If you had to.
If
It
you
was a
need
deal in.
If you need to eat, I know a great spot. It's a 7-Eleven down the road.
Or you could eat at the blood farm.
I mean, that's true, but less fun.
Well, there's no more Gary and Gary, so.
Right.
Oh, what happened to Gary?
You know, it's a really long story, and it resulted in yet another ruined dress for me, and quite frankly, I'm not keen to revisit it right now. So.
We got to see modern art. Right over there, they made what a lovely tribute to Gary.
I was quite proud of it.
It was excellent.
Jesus.
It was. Oh yeah, they'll sneak up on you. Don't you worry about that. They'll just pop up out of nowhere. Always make sure to check when you wake up every night that you still have all of your bones, because sometimes they go missing and they probably have them.
I put it back.
Yeah.
Lorena, can we make a rule with you, sweetheart, that you just don't take things that don't belong to you without
No,
permission?
that sounds like the most boring rule ever.
Okay.
Would you like
That
me
sounds pretty
to
boring.
fix another one of your nails? You like
Can you
that,
do-
didn't you?
Can you do the other hand for me?
Hmm?
Can you do the other hand for me? I broke one recently.
She grabs your hand and puts all of it into her mouth and keeps pushing, and your hand keeps going in, and like she's looking at you and pushing your arm in, and you're basically up to like halfway your arm. You can see your hand in her throat, and she's looking at you with this look of intense pleasure in her eyes, and you feel like muscles and things moving, and then you feel like bones grinding against your fingers, and you feel again your fingers kind of being pulled on as she's looking at you with your hand all the way down, and then slowly this long ass stretch of bloody saliva follows your hand as it comes out of her mouth. She's like, your bones are exquisite.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I just grab like the corner of whatever she's wearing and just like wipe off all of that. And I'm like, oh God.
Now you realize that the bones of your fingers have been extended and sharpened all the way into the tip of your fingernails.
Small price to pay for weapons.
I mean, the manicure is exquisite.
Sorry, Myriad. You will gather around, pick up your stuffs, gag a little bit, probably.
No gag reflex here.
Vorina just looks fucking happy. Vorina just looks like...
Spit that sentence out of your mouth, Kurt.
Vorina looks like she should be having a cigarette. And you will go outside and pile up in the truck, because there's a truck outside. And I guess you will be heading out to the blood farm. So you've been directed to go to the South of Heaven blood farm. During the pandemic, the Bishop of Garrison, a La Sombra named Tomash, ordered the creation of a blood bank. Templars were sent out into the night to amass the homeless and destitute, as well as those that lived alone. Their disappearances were hidden in the unreported numbers of COVID fatalities. These unlucky souls were taken to the South Haven Correctional Complex, which was an abandoned prison in the area, which is now called the South of Heaven Blood Farm, which is an abandoned state prison, where they were kept there as a blood farm. The Ventru Antitribu Clemence was assigned the task of running it. Mandy, all I have to say, Mandy, first of all, hi. Thank you so much for dropping in, coming by. Amazing to see you. Second, thank God you weren't here before the break, because there were gagging noises, and I know that's on your no-no list. So now that I see you're here, we'll make sure not to have any. But like, it literally is a really good thing you didn't come in before the break. It would have been bad. All right, my friends. You are heading towards the South Haven, or what used to be South Haven Correctional Complex. You drive out. It's kind of out in a rural area, a little bit in the forest, in the forested area. Of course, it's a little bit outside civilization. As you drive in, you see that there's still the chain link fence, the three fences surrounding it, with barbed wire at the top. You don't see any activity. You maybe somewhere in your head had thought there would be guards and things like that, but no, there's nothing. It looks dead. It looks like there's nothing there. And you understand, of course, that this is kind of a underground illicit operation. You drive up. Let's see if any of you know anything about this that might sort of help you out. Let's take a look at your character sheets. Anyone have anything along the lines of, let's see, streetwise? Go ahead, and the three people who live in Garrison, so not you, Carter, but the other three, if you want to make a streetwise roll, so I would say go ahead and make your wits and streetwise roll for me. So remember, you roll a number of d10s equal to the attribute plus the skill. In this case, we'll say you're looking for number 6. Anything that has a 6 or above is a success. If you get 1s, they cancel successes.
I think I'm not going to participate in this one, unless you insist upon it.
No, I don't insist upon it.
I'd like to use a night move. Well, we have them. We might as well use them, because I rolled real bad.
I got 5 successes.
Fuck my drag entirely. I may not want to use a night move after all.
That's
Can I
fine. You don't
retcon
have to
that?
use it. You don't have to use it. So Archie, you had occasion to come here once. I will say that it was a question of during the pandemic. At some point, it got really bad, and you didn't have any other means of feeding. And it got to a point at some point where you almost considered feeding on Raymond. And that's when you were like, okay, no, I can't do this. I got to go to the blood farm. And you came out here. And so you know that basically the access to it is not sort of at the front gate or anything like that. You have to drive a little bit further out, where there are a number of houses that used to house the guards and things like that for the prison. And that access is through one of those places. So you drive out into like the little mini town that's next to it. You find one house that looks like it's habited. You drive up, you park, you see a couple of kindred vampires that you maybe recognize. You might recognize them from around town, like low-level sort of bruisers hanging around the doors of one of them. You park the car, and you are sitting there in the truck outside looking at this place. You go in, you talk to them, you go in, then they take you through a tunnel down into the prison, and that's how you access it. What would you like to do?
I'm getting flashbacks. Not good. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. It was just during the pandemic, things got a little scarce. So I've been here a time or two.
So you know your way around then.
I'm still not in a good mood for you right now. Yes, I know my way around.
Well, good. If you know your way around, then that means you can be useful and show us the door.
Archie, you really don't have to talk to him if you don't want to.
Wrong.
Yeah, but he's still here. That's the problem.
Yep. All 7 of my ex-wives keep saying the same thing.
I lean in real close to Archie, intimate as our friendship is, and I go, "We can eat him later. That might be fun."
He puts his head on your shoulder and he goes, "Oh, don't tempt me with a good time." Okay, here we go.
Can I eat him too?
What the fuck?
I swear to God. Girl, private conversation, thank you.
You need to wear a bell. I think I have one.
That defeats the whole purpose of the spooky.
I could make one out of my chest bones, but it would sound more like a cowbell. It would have that kind of hollow bone sound.
I've got a favor.
Looks at Lydia. Chest bones? She can make one. They can make one out of their chest bones.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird things happening. Do you feel comfortable taking the lead? I'll stand between you and Carter.
Quickens pace.
You walk up to the house. The door opens. A man comes out. He's dressed in a black t-shirt, black pants. He's got black hair slicked back, a bit of a beard. He's smoking a cigarette. Ian, that this is Bryce. He's kind of one of the main security guys here. Is a Bruja in T-Tribute. He comes out. Y'all here for the luncheon special?
You know it. Blue plate, please.
You got kind of a big gang there.
Yeah. Well, things get a little weird at night. We've been through a very hectic evening.
Just swinging through for some fast food.
Yeah. Bryce, why do you keep smoking those things? You know they'll kill you.
I'm a creature of habit.
Respectable. Should be quick. We're just coming in, quick nibble, speak to a buddy. We'll be out of your hair.
Before we do that, I would like to give a shout out to Macabre Derek for the raid. Thank you so much, Macabre Derek, for coming in. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade. We're playing Sabbat, so please be aware that this is a game that is intended for a mature audience. There's a lot of dark stuff here, so please be aware of that. As you decide whether to hang out with us or not, I do hope that you do, and I really appreciate you coming in with the raid. Thank you so much Very, very kind of you, Macabre Derek. He says, what's the password?
Rise. Really?
I'm fucking with you. Come on in.
Thank you. Make sure you come by the club this weekend. We have something special.
All
We
right.
do.
But what do you got?
We do.
Yes, we do. But you know I don't like to spoil surprises. Show
Right.
up.
Yeah.
See what you get.
Hey, Andrew, thank you so much for the gifted sub. You're so kind. Thank you very much, Andrew. You can see Andrew in Miko's Hystera game on Wednesdays. Andrew's also a very, very talented artist. He made a couple of our chat emojis, the pet one, the lol one, the raid one. So that was Andrew's work. And he also made a very, very cool fan art of Lydia last time we played last week. So 2 weeks ago. So thank you very much,
Andrew's
Andrew.
just dope all around.
Andrew's
He
just
makes bread.
fucking amazing. Well, he's Canadian, you know.
I'll
You
give
sound
that one.
biased.
Yeah,
And biased.
I'll give you that one.
My friends, so he leads you down into the tunnels below. As you go down, you notice that they have several large dogs, some massive, some Rottweilers, and it's pretty clear to you as you see them that they've been fed vampire blood. They are ghoul dogs, and they're being held by, with thick chains and whatnot, but they look pretty menacing. They're well behaved, but they look at you like you're their next lunch, and it's kind of unnerving as you see these big, powerful dogs powered by vampire blood. You walk down along this old corridor that's been dug out and kind of solidified with bricks and whatnot. It looks at first kind of like an old mining tunnel. But eventually you break out into what would have been back in the day a kind of central room for prisoners. You come on, there's like those little round tables with little chairs around it, and then there are stairs that go up, and on either side of you there's this really long sort of hall, and on either side there are cells, and there are 2 floors of them. The cells currently, the doors are open and they are not occupied. You just see a couple of dogs kind of roaming around free, and they kind of just roam around sniffing, and they come around and sniff you, but don't seem to be overly aggressive otherwise.
This is a moment of weakness for Carter, because there's dogs. He is going to utilize animalism, and he is going to tell them that they're the goodest boys on the planet, and that they are doing the best job that they can do, and give them all the scritches before continuing on.
They, to no one's surprise, the dogs seem to like Carter. He really is a dog.
That explains a lot. Okay.
The dogs are very happy with your scritches and your use of animalism. As you walk into this hall, Bryce turns and goes, so you want the regular or the special?
Actually, before a little business before we kind of get to the snack. Lydia, and then kind of like turns away.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey. Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we were wondering, Bryce, is Silver around by chance?
I think so.
Do you think he's free? That maybe we could have a little chat with him?
I don't know. I think we'd have to check with the warden.
Do you really have to check with the warden?
Yeah.
Bryce, do you really have to check with the warden?
Hold on. Let me double check.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bryce.
Anybody else want to try? Say my name. Maybe it'll make me fucking ooh, and I'll just, acquiesce.
All right,
whatever
Bryce.
he's asking me.
Take us to this here Clement. We need to speak to him.
It's a she, by the way.
Fair enough.
I'll take you to Clemence. He starts going up the stairs. You go up, follow him. You reach the end of the hall. Door opens. You go through it. As soon as you do, you smell it, blood. as soon as you turn around that corner, there's just the smell of blood permeates this place. It's like baked into the walls at this point. It's just all over the place. Who has less than 5 blood? Just you?
I think it was just me.
Can you go ahead and make me a self-control roll? Do you have self-control in your path?
In my path?
You have self-control. You do. I have self-control of 5. That's
Yes.
pretty awesome. So go ahead and roll me 5 d10s. Right here, looking for 5s. Ones cancel 5s.
Let's see. I got stuff higher than 5.
Yeah, 5 or higher is fine.
Yeah, I got 4 successes.
All right.
No ones.
So you managed to kind of clamp down on it, but you're reminded that like you're already feeling kind of peckish, and the scent of it is just sort of really kind of overpowering. You'll go around to the next wing, and as you come into this wing, the door opens, and it's not just the stench of blood anymore. It's the stench of filth, of dirty human bodies, of, you know, all the disgusting things that human bodies just kind of kept in cells by people who really don't care about normal human functions would be there. So the place is dirty, it's filthy. There are humans in most of the cages throughout this entire wing. And he goes through and around along the catwalk. There are a couple of guards walking around. You see a few kindred that have come to feed, and as you're walking along the catwalk, you see the guards will come and open one of the cell doors, and they go in and they pull out someone, and there's a kindred there who looks like he's almost kind of jonesing, and he grabs this human prisoner and like falls on him and just starts drinking him. And as you're walking, you see the guards pulling him, like, you only paid for 2 liters, come on, get off of him. And they start pulling him off, and the human is kind of catatonic, and he's emaciated, and you can see that he's like just has almost no energy left. And one of the guards kicks him and goes, I don't think this one's got more. None of it draining him, put him back in there, and they just roll him in the filth and push him back into the cell and close the door. And the other kindred was like, I can pay for more, man. They're like, come on, get out of here. And they sort of push him out. You are taken along this catwalk, and you notice all of this sort of going on downstairs. There's just this sort of abject misery of all these humans that are being kept there. You walk through the doors and head down a corridor, and there's an office that with a name plaque of warden at the top. He reaches there and he's like, there you are. He opens the door. You walk into this fairly large sort of place where it used to be like an office pool, maybe like a bunch of little offices, and the warden's office at the end. Here you are. Here's Clemence. As you walk into the room, you see this woman on her knees, her hands nailed down into the floor. There are candles embedded in her flesh that are burning down, and you can see that there's been plenty more of other candles before. Her skin is all burned to a crisp, sort of around where the old wax of these candles is, and these candles are just burning down, and she's sort of kneeling with her hands nailed down into the floor like this, barely moving.
Nice coffee table.
I like your style.
Very good art.
I agree. I think Clemence makes a very, very wonderful conversation piece. And as you hear his voice, the office to the warden, the warden's office opens up, and this woman comes out. She is a good-looking woman, blonde hair. Her skin is very weird in that it looks like it has little blood dots sort of peppered throughout her entire face. She's wearing a suit, very nice, very conservative suit, buttoned up, jacket. Along with her comes another woman, this one wearing an AC/DC t-shirt and a cowboy hat, and she's got like these big sort of, metal gauntlet finger rings on her hand, kind of behind her. The first woman to have come out says, "Pleasure to meet you. I'm the new warden here. My name is Tsma."
Tsma. All right, then.
Do you wish to see Clemence? She's right there.
Well, that puts a little bit of a hindrance on things. Is she there of her own volition?
Well, of course.
Right. Small, how did Clemence get into that position?
She asked. We had a few discussions about what it was that she was really seeking in life, what it was that she really craved and needed, and we came to the realization that this is what she wanted. She had a very deep desire to be one with fire.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well,
Communication's key.
Yeah, there should be a safe word in here somewhere. Anyway, so we kind of need to speak to her, and so if we could have her attention for 5-10 minutes, then y'all can get back to whatever fucked up ritual it is that you're fucking conducting at this point in time. Though I dig that shirt, like I'm not gonna lie, that is that from the tour? Is that from that tour?
So Carter, you found a girlfriend.
Shut up.
The woman with the AC/DC shirt and cowboy hat comes over to you, and she looks you up and down. You look like you probably had a whole bunch of different children from different mothers in different states back in the day, and I kind of dig that about you.
Oh, that's more than likely.
Yeah,
actually, I got some of them now, but
Is that what you want? You want to fuck? Is that what you're...
No, not really. Not at the moment.
You think you're gonna comment on my AC/DC t-shirt here, and I'm gonna be like, oh, Big Daddy Dick here. Yeah, Big Daddy Dick, right? Like, I'm gonna ride on that like I'm a fucking cowboy at a rodeo. Is that what you think is gonna fucking happen?
No, actually not. But I was just merely commenting.
Because it could be yours. It could all be yours. Do you want it? Do you fucking want it? Do you want it? Do you want it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Can you even get a fucking hard-on paste that beer fucking belly of yours? I didn't think so. You want to try? You want to go? You want to go? You want to give it a shot?
What is your name? We need to be friends immediately.
My name is Tallahassee Bill.
Hell yeah, it is. Pleasure.
Pleasure is mine. That's a
Bill,
fancy fucking shirt you got there. It's like all ripped up and covered in blood. Is that like nouveau design? Is that what's going on? Did you get that at fucking Cheap Thrills?
Oh, I like
If you
them.
like it, Tallahassee Bill, I love it. Yes, nuevo fashion.
I will happily buy you a beer. Miller High Life, champagne and beer.
The fuck, were you raised in a fucking trailer park?
Yeah? What of it?
Nothing, just asking.
That's what I thought.
You're so much fun.
Oh, you and I are gonna get along great.
Yeah, you into pegging also?
Fuck it, whatever.
Hang around after you're done. Maybe I'll lasso you down and ride you to fucking victory. How about that?
I mean,
Huh?
Listen, when you fucked that she-beast and he gestures back to Lydia, anything's fair game.
You
Come again? What did he say?
She leans over. You slept with this fucking pile of trash?
No
Twice.
You know, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Goddamn right it is.
Oh, I know. She
James.
comes over. She's like, tell me something. Is it as small as it looks from here?
And I turn her so our backs are to Carter, and I go, yeah, it's like
I
like
can
a roll.
still hear you.
It's like a roll of dimes,
Hmm.
or like a cocktail weenie.
Like a 2-inch fuse on a 100-pound bomb. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep. Shorter time for the explosion. I can get to listen. It may be a rowboat, but I can get to England in record time, motherfucker.
What about
What
you?
is
You're kind
happening?
of quiet. She comes over to Florence. You're kind of quiet. You ever been to the rodeo?
Oh, I don't think I'm your type.
You'd be surprised. I like to break them.
Okay. And just like look down and try to find almost literally anything or anybody to hide behind, because that's a lot. I'm good.
Come on, Francis, relax a little. She's flirting with you.
I don't think I like it. Thank you though.
Oh,
You're kind of small. I like that. I could just kind of strap you to me and just, walk around with you and kind of like a little backpack of joy.
Is this still a sex thing?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sweetie, yes, it is.
Very much so. Yeah, yes,
Mm.
yeah.
I think this isn't a very funny joke, I think
Oh,
we're
no,
here to
this is-
find somebody.
This is fucking hilarious. This is exactly
Well,
what
you
this is.
found me. She turns around and looks at Archie. You fine, but I'm not your type. I get it.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Nah, that's all right. The warden says, all right, TB, I think we've had enough of your antics. I have to excuse her. Full moon's not out, but she gets a little unhinged.
I could stand to hear a little more. I'm just saying.
How about you tell me a little bit more about what you want?
Well, we're not here to talk to you. We're here to talk
to Silver.
Yeah, that is correct.
well, and also Clemence.
Well, you're not going to get to talk to Clemence, unfortunately. I don't think she can talk anymore.
What do you mean by that?
Well, getting what you want costs.
I know a thing or two about getting what I want and giving others what they want in similar situations. Why can't she talk?
She has no voice left.
How long has she been there like that?
So, I don't know. Month and a half.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, first of all, I would love to read your notes sometime because this is exquisite.
Thank you.
Is there anything
It wasn't
odd
me.
about
It was all her. I did nothing.
Well,
I simply asked her what she wanted, and this is what she wanted, and I gave it to her. What do you want?
So many things right now. So many things, especially from you. So many things. But right now, I think I would just be happy if we could talk to Silver.
Absolutely. Come with me.
Please don't do that to me, though.
Not unless you want it.
Nope. No, thank you.
And it's not me.
Who? So you just gave her what she wanted. So who put her in this position is what I'm asking. Who did this? Was you?
No. It was our Lord. But it's neither here nor now. Let's go and see Silver, and we can discuss further.
Sure.
You follow her as she heads back out the corridor, goes in the other direction, goes into the third and final wing of the prison. You walk out into a very similar wing that you did before, except this one's smaller. It's one floor only. It's a little bit more restrained. You walk in, it's clean. There's none of that smell of refuse and whatnot, filth that there was in the other one. The prison cells are all filled, but they're clean. There's someone in each cell. They look very dejected, but somewhat healthier. In the center of the room, as you walk in, you see two things. The first thing that you see is a man crucified upside down. He is naked, and he has been crucified in such a way as there is a metal beam that stands up out of the ground, and he has been impaled on this beam. The beam goes through his mouth and comes out between his legs, and he has been placed like that, and his arms have been brought down, and they're being held by metal wires, and his legs are attached together at the top and braced. Behind him is a wall. The wall is a simple black brick wall, but it is covered in symbols, drawings, some words. It's going to pop up for the chat here in a second, but I'm also going to drop it in our Discord here so that you can take a good look at it. I know Kurt loves to look at my walls. It is coming in just 1 second. There you go.
Lydia's done some weird shit in her day. This is unsettling even for her.
You wanted to speak to Silver. I think you might have a little difficulty talking, but...
What did you fucking do?
I punished him.
Well, unpunish him.
Why? He is a traitor.
What?
What are we looking at? What is this?
What is what? You are looking at the punishment of a traitor. He thought he was a savior, and so he was crucified. I mean, that's what you do with those who think they're saviors, right?
Oh, so that's Silver, like out of character. That's Silver on the
Yeah,
boat.
out of character, that's Silver, that's crucified, yeah.
You will.
See, our
Release
friend
him.
Silver here joined us under false pretense and then attempted to help some of our commodities escape.
Oh, yeah, that would certainly justify this.
A traitor is a traitor. It's not the size of the treachery that matters. It is the intention. Someone who hides among others, keeps secrets, tells, steals.
He's a goddamn spy, you ignorant son of a bitch. Cut him down. We need him, or the longest night will take your ass into the oblivion of which you so claim.
Oh, the longest night. Well,
I
you're
said
on whose authority exactly?
the Cardinal himself. Cut him down.
I would like, at this point, for all of you to give me... let's go with your choice, all right?
Yeah.
Dealer's choice. You can either give me a medicine occult, or alertness roll. So your alertness will be with your wits. With your wits. Your medicine with your perception, and your occult with your intelligence. So choose which one you want to do. Roll and then tell me which one it was and when you rolled.
I'm going to use one of my night moves.
Okay.
That will be 2 critical successes and 1 regular success on occult.
Say that again.
2 critical successes and 1 regular success on occult.
Awesome.
What were we trying to hit?
You're looking at 6s.
Sorry, for those new of us to VTM, what is considered a critical success?
If you roll a 10, it's a critical. If you roll a 10.
I got 1 critical success and 3 successes on occult.
Okay.
I got the same on the cult.
Everyone's rolling occult. That's great.
I was going to roll medicine.
Perfect.
I would also like to use a night point that I have, and it would be 3 successes.
Okay. So we'll start with you first. As you're taking a look around and take a look at the prisoners, you come to a sudden realization. These are all vampires. All the prisoners in the cells are all vampires. The rest of you had a lot of successes. As you look at the wall and the iconography that's there, you realize a few things. The first thing you realize is that on the wall is written, I will at some point find it. On the wall is written in Latin, Bahamut este habitans en astris pater tenebrarum immundator carnes, which means he is Bahamut, dweller in the stars, father of darkness, purifier of flesh. And as you read that and see some of the iconography there, you come to the realization that Tsma is probably a Bali. The Bali, for those of you who don't know, are a bloodline or clan of vampires that are so evil that they are shunned even by all the other vampires. Even the members of the Sabbat usually won't have anything to do with them. They are infernalists. They gain powers and boons from infernal beings that they summon. They have a very interesting aspect to their blood in that they don't so much propagate by creating other Bali as they do by corrupting other clans and infecting their blood with their own blood to a certain degree, and so turning literally from the inside members of other clans into sub-species of the Bali, essentially. They are basically like a virus. Their bloodline has this viral property that allows them to just spread through all the other clans. They are feared and despised by most of the vampires. They were almost completely destroyed by the Sabbat at some point, but it appears that some of them have survived and some of them pop up once in a while, making themselves useful.
Do we get the sense that TB is also a Bali, or?
You're getting the sense TB's clearly Malkavian. I think her card said Bruja, but I think it's just a mistake that I made. TB's Malkavian, Bryce was Bruja. They're either working voluntarily for the Bali, or it's possible that they've been also infected in this way.
So, upon this epiphany, Carter is not going to stand for that. The mere presence of the Bali is an affront to the Sabbat, as it is a job not quite finished. And let's just say this presents an opportunity which he wishes to take advantage of.
Now, I don't know exactly what you're planning on doing. I do want to set the scene correctly so that you can make your decisions. There are a number of vampires in here. A number of ghoul guards, number of dogs also. There's probably about 12 or so people that you would consider opponents in this room. There are about 40 or 50 vampires in the cells. What you can kind of intuit is that they are now running some kind of racket where they create new vampires and then use them as blood banks for other vampires.
I don't think that would stop him.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Because ultimately, this is an affront. Like, the Cardinal would not stand for this kind of thing. Like,
well, that's a question you have to ask yourself. Do you think the Cardinal knows or doesn't know about this?
If he knows about this, this is a death trap.
yep, exactly. Which his goal is beyond this death trap. He wouldn't send us to our deaths in this particular case. This is a test.
Ooh.
Will we do what needs being done? And Carter kind of feels that the answer to that is taking some heads.
I'm down to kill a bitch.
Do you want to talk about this? Do you want to ask me questions? I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm just...
No.
This is the first time that we encounter something like this.
Yep.
And I want to make sure that, you know...
That's the only thing that's stopping me at this point is I don't necessarily want to drag everybody into this if this is not something that they are down for. Just that would definitely be Carter's position on this.
Well, so look, how about this, all right? Faced with this and this realization, first of all, the three of you know now that she's Bali, but you don't know that the others know.
Mm-hmm.
And Francis knows that these are vampires, but the rest of you don't know. So what if one of you had the brilliant idea of saying, we need to go over there and just chit chat for a second amongst ourselves?
That was what I was going to suggest. Team huddle.
Thank you for guiding us. Oh, sweet and wonderful storyteller. We were like, kill it.
Like, I want to say that you don't feel in danger on the level of this doesn't look like it's a Charlie about to pounce on you. Like, this is their business.
Couldn't entirely tell based on the upside down naked man that we weren't in danger.
He's a traitor.
That we need him.
That you need him. That's a given. She's already talked about the fact that she's here to give people what they want. Deal with the devil, you know, that whole thing. I also
Archie's going to speak up.
Just want to remind you one more thing before you go on with that. The game is called Severed for a reason, because it is about the severing of your characters from anything that makes them human, all right? But it's about that process, and in that process you have a voice. You get to decide to what degree does your character become severed from whatever is left in them that makes them human. Okay, and so that conflict is part of this, that conflict of yeah, it's fun to fucking see Gary fucking get turned into barbecue at the 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
This is a whole nother thing, like the Bali or like another step, like the Sabbat look at the Bali and go, you guys are fucked,
Yeah.
right? But
Right.
at the same time, so it's all part of this. Like, it's perfectly fine to feel conflicted. This is meant to be a fucking thing, okay?
It's meant to be
Not Bleak putting us in a position of feeling conflicted.
Well, see, so ultimately, like, for Carter, it's not a conflict. For him, it's simple because he's looking at it like, I kill a Bali, my goal is to become Black Hand. That's kind of what Black Hand do, is they hunt these
totally.
things down. And he
Absolutely.
is Path of Power and Inner Voice. So he sees this as a
And
tool.
also, we did all just do a blood pact. We should huddle up.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just
And also,
Yeah.
you know that you're being watched, and but the thing that the Cardinal reproaches you as a leader is that you're off the fucking chain.
That is true.
So, the four of you,
Will you excuse us for just 1 second?
just
Oh.
1 second.
I was
Yeah,
wondering when you'd
please.
ask.
Said Bleak through the character.
You go and you find a little quiet corner, and the thing that haunts you is the silence in this room. Like, in the other room, the human prisoners were all crying and moaning, and there was pain, and there was shit, and there was piss, and there was blood, and in here it's clean. The fucking vampire prisoner just sitting there. I do want to point out that, Miko, if you want to show the image of Tracy, you do have, if you want, and this is not me at all saying you should do this, it's really just, you can also talk to, there isn't a cell there next to you, there is someone. So if you want to get information, whatever, there's other people around that you can talk to. This is not just up to you. I will now shut up and let you talk amongst yourselves. The Holy Roman Empire was neither holy a Roman nor an empire. Talk amongst yourselves.
Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, this is batshit insane.
What the fuck is going on?
I can't say that we're entirely safe, but I don't think we're fully in danger right now.
I mean, we can switch that around.
I get that, and I know that you want to go in guns blazing, metaphorically speaking, but I think we should probably gather a little bit of intel right now. Speaking of, Francis, you know things.
1 or 2.
So what do you know?
Well, for one thing, these are vampires around us. Guess you hadn't noticed.
I'm sorry, what?
Vampires? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
All of them?
As far as I can tell, yes.
Huh. Okay. And just in case you didn't know, Sma in there, she's a Bali.
Shh. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't say that.
And there's some satanic shit happening here, which normally I'd be down with, but like, it's real.
That's fucking silver on the pole.
Yeah, that's silver.
I can't believe I might be with Carter on this one. Just saying. I understand the numbers aren't in our favor, but this also is not. How are we going to get silver out of here otherwise?
I think we might have to negotiate first.
Really?
That. She said she gives what people they want, but we're gonna have to like bargain for it. Obviously, nothing's for free. I mean, listen, I get it. We'll high hole silver. You want to go in, but look around us. We're surrounded.
I'm all for going in and ripping some throats out if it comes to that. But let's not put ourselves in that position right away.
Oh my god.
I am just saying, Carter, I will let you have your blood feast and you can have as much as you want. But now is maybe not the time. Maybe we should implement a little strategy so we don't all end up fucking staked again. Sorry.
And you could come back. You know where they are. You know what's in here. Come back. Go crazy. Go butt nutty.
Butt nutty? I like it. That's a good one.
There you go. You could just go off. Now you know. You have intel. You know where they are. You go back to the Cardinal and be like, ooh.
We are here as a test on behalf of the Cardinal. These people are the greatest enemy that you will ever face. And you want to tuck tail and run? How well do you think that's going to be received by those above you?
I walk up to Carter and I just put both of my hands on the sides of his face, like thumbs on his cheeks, and I look him right in the eyes and I say, "Hey, babe.
Why are you
You'll
talking
get your-
to me like this?
Because I know you like it. You're going to get your time. But the Cardinal, as much as he wants to rip them all apart, and as much as this is truly an abomination, he wants us to be smart about this. And don't you want to get your special role in the Black Hand? I know.
Sweetheart, don't talk to me like a child. He wouldn't have sent a sledgehammer in here if he didn't need one.
I know. But trust me, just once. I can do
How'd
that
work out
thing you
for
like.
Jeremiah?
And I just dig my nails slightly into his cheeks and I let go and I go, well, I'm taking the strategy of talking. I don't know what anybody else would like to do. Carter, I would love it if maybe we could... Hang on, who is that? And I look over to the cell. Well, we weren't alone. Okay. With Tracy
Hello.
in the cell.
The woman in the cell looks up. Hi.
Hi. What you doing?
I'm behaving.
it out.
I'm behaving.
You're behaving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can we perceive, is this a human or is this a vampire?
Vampire.
Okay.
You can see several bite marks all over her body.
What's your name?
Tracy.
I come up to the bars and I like crouch down to get at eye level with her. How did you get here, Tracy?
They had I went to the brick house, you know, to get my fix, and I woke up in here, and yeah, someone came in and bit me, and I got really, really weak, and then they poured something in my mouth, and yeah, I've been here since then.
How long has that been?
I don't know. 1 month is it?
What month is it, Storyteller? It's May, isn't it? I thought.
It is today, yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I thought we had a timeline. I'm gonna turn to Francis, who I'm assuming has a higher medicine or a higher understanding of some of this stuff, and be like,
Sure.
Is this ringing any bells? What are they doing ritual-wise? Do you know?
Can I roll for that?
Sure, go ahead. So let me be clear. What's the question? What are you asking? Are you asking for a medical question here, or?
I think I just Francis is smart.
Thank you.
So I just feel like there's some stuff that like Lydia just has no concept of.
Okay, so
like...
look, give me Francis.
Yes.
Give me your perception and Yeah, give me your medicine with that, I guess. That's
Okay.
fine.
Sounds good.
You want to use a night move?
I might need to.
Remember to keep track of your night moves.
Yes. I've already used one of them. Let's see. So I had a critical success. They're all successes.
Okay. So as you take a look at the whole thing, so your understanding of it is just that for a while they were providing the service of humans that vampires could come in and drink off of, but then they decided to kick it up a notch, as you know, especially from having had earlier blood from kindred, that blood from kindred is a lot more potent. And so it looks like they've kicked up a notch and are now offering kindred on the menu. Basically, they have taken a bunch of their humans, have turned them into vampires, and are just allowing other vampires to come and feed off of them if that's what they want. This has a lot of different implications. One, this is the Sabbat, not the Camarilla, so it's kind of fine to create vampires a bit more randomly, but you're pretty sure these have not undergone the rites of creation, and so would not be considered Sabbat. The Sabbat would not really care on a moral level about this. Necessarily, it would be more of a personal decision if you thought that, because a big part of the what kind of makes you Sabbat is that you now believe yourselves above humanity, different and separate and over humanity, right? You are no longer human. You're completely. Camarilla keeps trying to remain human, but the Sabbat are like, okay, no, we are now an evolved species. We are something else. This becomes cannibalism then at that point. And while the Sabbat would certainly not shy away from that, one of the things the Sabbat believe in is diablerie, where the act of drinking a kindred's not just blood, but drinking their soul and basically gaining their power. Like, that is something that the Sabbat practice a lot more than the Camarilla does. But this is where you as a character have to decide how your character feels about that, because it is tantamount to you as a human being right now considering eating another human being. That is literally what that is. Now, as a vampire, especially a Sabbat vampire, your level of morality is very different, so you might be okay with that, but then again, you might not. The Sabbat in general are more okay with that, but I want you to decide for yourself, for your own character, what's your own level of morality on this thing. How do you feel about that? Right? Because this is not something that your society would say is wrong, but it is still wrong to some degree. So it is up to you to decide how you feel about that. How do you think your character feels about the fact that you are also now being treated as cattle? It's not just about the humans who are cattle, which is probably easier to deal with for you. But now it's your own kind also. And, that kind of elevates it a little bit. So this is where you as a role player now have to sit there and kind of think about, how do you think your character feels about that? Because it wouldn't be illegal. It might be distasteful, but it wouldn't be illegal. One thing I do want to add is that Carter was right. Like, you're getting the feeling this is a test. Like, you were all shown by the Cardinal images of your attachments to your former lives, your mortal lives, your humanity, in your visions earlier. And now he has sent you here without giving you a leader and saying he's watching and wants to see who's going to be the leader. So this is very clear. This is a test of some sort. It's probably not as clear cut as what Carter thinks of. He wants to see if we're going to get the job done, which is what Carter probably thinks, and that's perfectly fine. There's a lot more to it than that. You get the feeling that the Cardinal is trying to weigh your soul, really, to see, where do you stand? Do you still have attachments to human morality? Do you still have attachment to that side of yourself, your past? And this is a decision for you to make. This is not the Sabbat thinks this way, so you think this way. This is meant to be conflicting for him, to force you into thinking, how does your character react to this? And considering everything else that you've seen tonight. Like everything's connected. Everything you've seen tonight's connected, right? It's all about. It's perfectly fine to not know right now. Maybe your character's conflicted.
I think what my intention is, and relaying this information back to Lydia, and speaking in such a way that kind of gets pitched to Archie too, right? I know we're kind of talking collective, but like the conversation seems to be headed towards them, and digesting that information in a way that really amplifies the fact that the vampires are becoming cattle, and I've seen how you all run the club. I don't mean to presume anything, not like I'm in your heads or whatnot, but this doesn't really seem like your bag to just walk away from something like this. But what do I know? Just food for thought, I guess.
Yeah. Certainly food for thought.
Carter, can I talk to you for a second? Just real quick.
Yeah.
If you two don't mind, just if there's anything else you can get from Tracy, anything kind of information, maybe we can free some
Sure.
something.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Carter, just a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you let them talk to you that way?
It's called biding your time.
Interesting. I think that they have continued to speak in interesting ways in front of people with some authority, and I think your patience is some just. I don't think I'd have that if I were you. But again, just was curious. They're busy talking to food, so.
He like leans in real close, like that, like half a millimeter away from your face. I've been manipulated by better. Try again. Good effort, though.
Fair enough. Just gonna shrug, tuck hair back, and go back to kind of leaning against the wall, watching everyone go about their business.
We need to come up with something now. The longer we're here, the longer this becomes a thing.
You're right.
She likes giving people what they want.
Well, what we want is Silver functioning well enough to join us. What do you think that might cost us, Tracy?
I don't know. I wouldn't presume to speak for her.
What
But-
have you seen that she charges?
You know, when you go to get a fix, it doesn't cost much. It's $20. You can get that easy. You give someone a blowjob and you can get $20 and you can come in and you can buy a fix, but what it really costs you in the long run, you can't calculate that.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy.
Can I ask a favor?
What is it?
Can you kill me? Please? They won't do anything. They're gonna get mad a little bit maybe, but please. Just kill me, please.
No. And I walk away.
Carter, without missing a beat, shoves his clawed hands right through the bars and through her skull.
Oh, great.
As she does, the dogs start getting agitated at the smell of blood. Some of the girls start to react. Tallahassee Bill comes over and says, "The fuck did you do that for?
Gave her what she wanted. And
It's
walked
not
past.
this is a fucking prison, doofus."
Well, the death sentence must get handed out from time to time, shouldn't it?
Ugh, God.
That's not. That's. God
Okay,
damn it.
let's keep this train moving. Sma.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So you're in the game of giving people what they want. The
Mhm.
Cardinal wants silver off the pole and with us. Let's talk.
Okay. Okay.
What's it gonna take?
That's what you want. You want silver off the pole.
Let me be very specific. We would like silver off the pole, functioning enough to walk out of here with us so that we can be on our way.
Well, let's say, how about 2 of you do a little revoldery with me?
Come again?
Power's in the blood. We exchange blood. We bind ourselves. A contract of sorts. 2 of you, any
I'm not
2 of
in-
you. Well, perhaps not him pointing at Carter. He's a little, but I mean, it must be.
I'm not in the mood for bloodletting at the moment. Here's another option, Small. You see my friend here. You see my pointing at Carter. You see my friend here. Right?
Yeah.
Not a lot going on in that head. There's a lot going on in this fist. The Cardinal has about 50 more of those ready at all times. This is not a threat. This is a warning. If we don't walk out of here with silver, there will be dozens of him waiting. I don't want that. It's already a long evening, and this is very simple.
Well, you've spoken your piece. What say the rest of you? Is no one interested in a little exchange?
Oh, sorry, honey, I'm spoken for.
I wouldn't think that mattered for someone like you.
What are you implying?
I'm implying that you strike me as someone who is always open to finding a better master.
Sweet of you to assume, but wrong.
I don't assume. I'm told things.
And what have
The
you been
master
told?
here knows. He sees you. And he sees what's in your heart. What boils in your blood. What makes your mouth salivate. What turns you into a quivering, trembling, wet little quib. He knows.
I don't think I like your vibe, hon.
Pity. You all seem so hesitant and perplexed. You claim to be here on the word of a very powerful individual, Cardinal Santiago himself. And yet you are all like mewling little kittens. Just mewling away on the other side of the door, pushing your little snout underneath the door, trying to get in, mewling away, wishing someone would come and open the door. And when someone comes and opens the door, you are afraid to walk through. You are afraid to walk through an open door. What is it you're afraid of losing? What do you have that you've not yet lost?
Carter.
Yeah, I think Archie turns to Carter, looks at him and goes, "Showtime."
He just goes. He immediately fucking leaps, claws out everything. Like he is 100%. He gives himself over to a frenzy and 100% lets the beast take over to rip her limb from fucking limb.
As you jump on her, the rest of you will see this. Carter, you won't notice this because your beast has taken over and you're already too far gone, but the rest of you will notice this. As Carter jumps on her, she smiles and she says underneath her breath, "Now is the time, Master." And she opens her arms and she does not defend herself. Carter, describe to me how you rip her completely.
I 100% would make Volana fucking proud. I give her red eagle wings. I remove her arms. I pull out her heart. I consume her heart. I rip off her head until she is nothing more than ash. And then at that point, I immediately turn and look at the next thing that isn't a packmate.
As Carter turns around, having ripped apart Sma completely, and her seeming kind of interested in that, a few things happen. One, all of you that are not Carter feel something, a presence, looking at you, noticing you, and a sense of contentment. Then Carter turns around. His beast has taken over. He is going to attack the nearest thing. You have a choice. You can try to interfere, in which case he will jump you and I will make him fucking PvP you. Or you can leave and close the door and let it work itself out.
I'm of the mindset that, sometimes you just gotta let a baby cry it out.
If anything, I'd like to point in the direction of Tennessee Bill and be like, that one right there.
I know, I really liked her though.
Casualties of war. And then I'm walking out with Lydia, hand in hand.
Francis?
Okay.
There's a moment of just like looking over the shoulder, following the other two, and just a little smirk, watching as Carter unleashes, and then shattering behind the other two.
The door closes behind you. All that's left are screams, pain, rage, the sound of meat being ripped from bone, exultation and carnage, the scent of blood reaching your nostrils, putting you on edge. It goes on for quite a while. As you're outside the door waiting, Lydia and Francis, you each hear in your head your name spoken. Lydia, Francis. It sounds like 2 or maybe 3 women's voices. Lydia, Francis, come. Come find us. Come to us. Both of you at the same time look over to the left. There's a short tunnel that leads to a door marked exit. Archie doesn't seem to have anything. Archie's staring through the bars at the carnage that's going on in the central room. You both realize at the same time you're looking at that door.
What do you hear?
Someone who wants us to come find them.
Leave them for the moment. Come to us. We have something for you.
You know, he's a brute, but man, he really is good.
Archie, will you excuse us for a second? We're just we'll be back.
I'll be here, darling. This is interesting.
Francis, shall we then?
I want to be on record that I think this is a real poor idea, but I can accompany you.
Okay. Make our way.
Walk down the corridor. You open the door. I'll get to you in a second. Archie, you've never seen so much brutality. You heard stories of the raids, the Sabbat packs, the war packs, but you've never seen anything like this. This is insane. After Carter's done ripping through the guards and the dogs and everything else that's there, he starts trying to reach people in the cages. The only thing that's stopping him from reaching them are the fucking cages are closed. You can hear them all screaming in fear and in pain. Eventually, after quite a while, you almost kind of lose track of time a little bit. But after a while, Carter sort of stops and slumps down, falls to the ground, lays unmoving.
Open the door super slowly. Carter? Are you done with your fun?
Cut him down.
All right. Kind of walks by him, gives him the thing. You got a little smuts. Okay. And I go over to assess Silver.
When you get there, to your horror, you realize he's very much alive and very much aware.
Ooh.
It's going to be a tough job cutting him down. Meanwhile, Francis and Lydia, you walk downstairs. You end up in what appears to be like ancient place, like maybe like what it would put people in solitaire, things like that. Like there's the paint's completely cracked and peeling off. It looks like this was built like, you know, in the 1800s, maybe sort of thing. Like it's a completely different architecture and building material than the prison up there. So it's something from much longer time ago. You keep walking down. The voice is calling to you and getting stronger and stronger. Eventually you start smelling herbs burning, incense burning, things of that nature. You eventually arrive in a fairly wide room. It is littered with the bones of small animals. There is debris everywhere. You see 3 women kneeling in the center of this room. There's a small fire burning. One of them has an incense thing that she's moving around that is filling the room. All of them are painted runic symbols, which symbols cover the entire room, the ceiling, the walls, the floor. The three of them kneel there around the fire. And as you walk into the room, one of them, the one in the center, says, Francis. I keep calling you Florence. Lydia, come in. We are the Hecate, and we have something to tell you about the long night. And as you look, one in the center, an eye opens in the center of her forehead. And on that note, my friends, we will end tonight's little Sabbat adventure.
Bleakifer!
Sorry.
God damn it.
That's so crazy.